I Will Always Review. It's a series making music appreciation simple. Today's song is Bad Habit by Steve Lacy. Released as the second single from his album Gemini Rights, it proved to be a slow burn success. Initially entering the main Billboard chart at number 100, it eventually clambered up to the top spot. The song is about not sharing your true feelings, then later going on to regret it. The lyrics show a balance of sincerity and silliness, offering a playful take on heartbreak. That's exemplified by the two choruses. The first is coy, earnest, and self-deprecating. The opening couplet is fun, though the repetition of "my dear" makes the next rhyme feel forced. Meanwhile, the flirtatious second chorus flips the first on its head by changing the wording. That's complemented by a later innuendo that refers to being either speechless or passionate. But the words of the verses and post-choruses don't add much, so the lyrics grade is C+. The melodic writing is excellent, with catchy hooks and a lot of variation, both across and within sections. The chorus begins with relatively little motion, either staying on one note or moving by small intervals. But within a few lines, it's doing the opposite, jumping about in a series of exaggerated leaps. The text setting follows the natural emphasis of speech, helping the changeable melodies to flow. The seventh chords with suspended and added notes are essential to the song's smooth vibe, and they're nicely voiced, with the choice of chord shapes and movement across the guitar neck adding character. This all helps to elevate the underlying groove, so the music grade is A-. The vocals have audible tuning issues, sometimes sounding shaky or falling distractingly flat. But that's partly the point. They're meant to be raw and emotionally engaging, not technical. We'll look at this in more detail in another video about how Bad Habit rips up the rulebook. Even so, as Steve Lacy shifts register, switches tones, stretches and strains, it's impressive in its own right. The guitar and bass work drives the song forward, especially during the instrumental break. And the backing vocals from Steve and Fouché strengthen the hooks and fill out the texture. It may be a bit rough, but this works in the song's favour, so the performance grade is B-. Likewise, the slightly scrappy DIY approach to the production feels like a good fit for the track. The vocal tone is as varied as the delivery, sometimes layered with reverb, sometimes very dry. And there's some ear candy, especially the inventive delay and panning in the second verse. The song benefits from not relying on programming, using a live synth and an acoustic drum kit. At certain points, the arrangement cuts parts out, the drums in particular, where fills might have added interest. But that's a minor complaint that doesn't detract from the great work elsewhere, so the production grade is B. The song's intro is odd but attention-grabbing, with Steve entering midway through a phrase. This material also plays a big part in the overall construction of the track. It's later reused as a post-chorus. There's a lot of contrast, including the music of the two verses and the lyrics of the two choruses. On top of that, there's the a cappella bridge, which ends with a beat switch, then an instrumental passage, and outro. It sometimes feels like it might collapse under its own weight, but thankfully it holds together. While the second half risks dragging, these experiments mostly succeed, so the structure grade is B-. Before we wrap up, help the channel out by taking a second to like and subscribe. Bad Habit has its downsides. Its scruffy nature may attract some, but is likely to repel others. Still, the lyrics are enjoyable, and the adventurous vocal delivery helps to bring them to life. The song's melodic writing is very catchy, and its use of harmony excels as well. So the final grade for Bad Habit by Steve Lacy is a low B. Let us all know your thoughts on Bad Habit, and look out for the video explaining how it rips up the rulebook. Or try the review of Glimpse of Us by Joji. And for early access and full scorecards for each review, consider supporting the channel on Patreon. See you next time.